You are who you believe you are and what you perpetuate as embodiment. Uh, there are so many things we are maintaining that we don't prefer because we are afraid what will happen once we let it go. And sometimes, even if you understand manifestation objectively and you know that you have to, you know, see the version of you already having it, doing it, behaving, thinking, feeling from it, but you're still attached to your old identity patterns, fears, because you charged it with emotion. You got that emotional charge, and now they got momentum and they got paradigm on itself, which is why you still are not able to just let it go because you are emotionally, your nervous system and your embodiment is still conceptualized with it and associated with it. So, what I am facing, for example, right now, I am facing few things that I want to work on, but I had a belief that that's maybe not aligned with me or it's maybe too hard. And I know how belief works. I'm like in NLP, metaphysics, neuroscience, psychology, esotericism, spirituality over 6 years. And I got to that belief, to the core belief that I'm not maybe capable of, or that I'm scared of people to think about me doing that, or that I'm not capable of delivering that offer because I'm young or something. That is just nonsense. But then I got, okay, who is thinking that? And that question just freed me for some reason because I was like, okay, so I have option to sit back from myself, my this consciousness, this brain here doing that. I have option to just be aware, observe, and not absorb. Hmm. So all of those uncertain, doubtful, fearful states are just cause of our human mind trying to perpetuate other people's perspectives or needs, or maybe just overall path of life people should take or be about or be in. How fast you should achieve something. Should you climb this corporate ladder here or should you become entrepreneur? I am generally aware and I'm sure that I'll be entrepreneur and that I'll be printing money with something that actually helps people, that actually solves problems and delivers and is valuable. And now I'm just in that selection of beliefs from that new identity I am letting in because I know so much about like online business when it comes to creating your info business, the digital business, and aligning with it. Just being in alignment with your passion, your skills, your that demand, your that value in demand that you're in, and even some things like that are non-negotiable, like marketing, sales, content, acquisition systems, AI, and physical mind will tell you like, okay, bro, that's so many things. Like you're a calisthenics athlete, uh, you've been a professional soccer player, now you're a calisthenics athlete that's hypnotizing entrepreneurs essentially. That's about content, sales, marketing, AI, acquisitions, scaling, coaching. In the same time, you're a monk. You're like literally NLP and neuroscientist and quantum physicist and metaphysicist, like you can't be it all. But if it's all you, how can you cannot be? It, there's something liberating that comes after you be aware, just simply that emotional relief that you get after being in that I amness frequency. I am a state, I am a state, I am all. Because person that you desire to be doesn't even question the essence and the presence of that being, right? Because you are it. You are not questioning something that you already have or are. Just that makes sense, right? It's common sense. So I will be utilizing something more concise in the next 1 month, and that's basically just knowing and being and acting from that knowing and being that I desire, that I envision, that I wrote down as my deadline, as my goal, as my desire, as my purpose and alignment. And essentially, I'll just be in that high vibe anticipation perception state. And then life will tend to reflect my frequency I'm operating from. I'm sure about it. So if we don't get what we want, we get what we are. That's a fact. But I was just thinking about filming this video because I realized sometimes, usually, people connect their worth to the suffering they experience, and they feel productive by it. They get that dopamine hit, like, yeah, I go through this, I go through that, and now I'm in the zone. But the fact is, like, you'll be much more free and liberating once you realize that you are complete now. Not like you have to settle for less, or that you should be comfortable, that you should be like happy with where you are. You need to be happy with yourself, but not maybe where you are right now, because you can always go better. You can always receive more, receive more, and realize what's already here already. So when people want a new life, they often try to change external things like job, relationship, city, strategy, but they're carrying the same mindset with them, same doubts, same patterns, same emotional charge, which basically cannot get different effect, because you cannot change effect by its effect, but by its cause. So I'll be transparent. Like, so many things I am aware of and I know, and I even wrote a book on manifestation. Not manifestation, which is concept that I don't love to even label as manifestation, which is basically just embodiment and realizing what you are. So maybe call the book of I am architect, or source code architect would be the name of the book. But here on the right, there's a whole wall, like, of business things, of like VCL acquisition systems, funnels, marketing. I was like planning this thing for the last 3 years of how to build my info business. But for the last 2 years, I was like, I had issues with shiny objects, to a certain point. I was hoping here and there to the shiny things I found as valuable for me to learn, to hoop on as a vehicle for my goals and desires. But even if that would work, I'm not sure that I'll be happy with who I am if I got that way. But if I actually align with my true gifts, with my passions, with my skill sets that I developed from acting on passion and excitement, then that's already something different. I had issues with figuring out my offer, for example. With all courses I paid for that exact pain point and bottleneck and issue, uh, I bought courses for it and I still couldn't solve it, because it's internal thing that I have to face. It's things on inside that I have to feel, process, and filter out, which cannot be solved from the external point. So I focused on that, and Now I realize how much I actually did, how much I actually did let go and healed, and because I felt it, because I processed it, because I got aware of it. Because again, you cannot change what you're not aware of. Either way, you just maintain it because we are all maintaining what we are not aware of because you basically just are good with it. You prefer it in a certain way. But when we are getting something that we don't like, we are kind of doing that introspection and self-investigation to a certain point, but in negative way of finding negative things about that, which is again good that you can, again, introspective self-investigation, let go and receive things that are on the way, let go of things that don't serve you. But I was at the point where I was like, okay, I'll either be like the best coach, sales guy, or writer, which is publisher of books, or podcaster in the world, or I'll just stay the same. I got to that point, and that just didn't make sense. That's okay. This is just a belief, and then all collapsed, and all those faulty beliefs that didn't make any sense just collapsed and dissolved because basically I couldn't perpetuate its logic anymore, which is non-existent. It's funny of how many things that we are keeping for ourselves that just doesn't make sense. I started to work on some somatic exercises, regulating my nervous system more that it feels safe through that expansion and change, which is again very important thing. And feeling that waiting identity, expecting things essentially that you desire being already here now. But I also had issue with getting clear on what I want. As I said, I couldn't resonate with most of the corporative careers or goals people had. It's like just it's either too small for me, too limited, not expressively approached and aligned, measurable, specific, realistic in my opinion, because there is no realistic, it's just perception, but realistic in like, are you actually real with yourself in that way? Are you real with yourself? Are you authentic? Are you, when you sit with yourself, if you can even do it? Some people can't even do it. I'm just speaking here for 13 minutes, just enjoying speaking with myself. uh, I genuinely believe people are afraid to feel what they postponed for the past 10 years or so, and then they catch that momentum. They are in that vehicle of ignorance that just gets suppressed, and it gets heavier and heavier and harder to detach from because it's their whole lens of reality they see things through. And I was also thinking, I have so many things, I have so many skills, passions, views that are healthy, and ideas, of course. I was just okay. I came here for something more than just even 5 to 10. It's not money. It's even not important actually, but some business or some basic business model that I'm just perpetuating because it makes money and has cash flow and good ROI from things I'm investing in and stuff like that. The whole game is fun, but I genuinely believe that if I went through, I had a friend that was isn't my friend anymore, that has OnlyFans angels. He is basically scaling OnlyFans girls and helping them get to the like broke kids or dads that are also mentally broke to just like mentally masturbate and physically as well, of course, unfortunately. But it's so toxic. It's faulty for me, but he isn't feeling toxic about it or faulty about it. He's making money. He's feeling well. He doesn't care. And because universe is just yes from internal state and belief from which you have perception. That's it. He isn't getting any negative effects from it, essentially. Maybe once he gets aware of it and then he labels it as something negative, therefore he'll experience it as something negative. Wow, magical things happen. He'll soon get very sad and misled and negative about the whole thing because he just cannot perpetuate that consciousness that went in it and consciousness that he has now. So basically, what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to not play the games that my old self played, and I'm learning to. We all actually don't have to learn it, we are it by itself, but I'm learning to be that I am and not fall for the ego mind games anymore. And once you're just aware of opportunity to be aware and observe and not absorb, there's that liberate feeling of freedom that I wanted to share tonight, and some things that I'm working on, and some things that you could also like to hear about how things work itself. But I was just thinking, like, you just have to post, you just have to, at least maybe one person will hear it, will resonate with it, will rest his soul in this convo with myself, which isn't still, which I'm still getting used to. Genuinely, I'm still getting used to this whole thing here. But what I saw another day is like you can now decide to not be the guy that has issues about this and that. You can now select a reality that isn't even like associated and maintained with that um, with that sickness or issue or problem, which is also kind of scientifically proven that you can just quantum leap in another version of you that doesn't even have the disease because you change internal paradigm of perception for it. And that's also where concept personality disorder comes, by the way. There's so many things that are so fun, but I'm enjoying in this loud peace that I'm experiencing from observing and attaching to things that I generally prefer to attach to and not work unintentionally anymore, because I generally want you to realize how important it is with which state of consciousness, which frequency you are working with things on, like how you're approaching things. Are you approaching it from the state of trying, not having, figuring it out? Or you're approaching it from the state of, gee, this is W, this is easy. I am it. This is so flowing for me. This is me. So emit that, maintain that, stabilize your frequency in that, and be emotionally productive, which means don't charge things that you don't prefer, don't react to them. Don't as well push it away because you cannot push anything away from to anything because it's all you. It will just come back. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It'll just come back in another form probably, or even the same one, until you change. Nothing changes. Until internal state changes, nothing changes. So yeah, this is again not script video, just me expressing myself and documenting my journey, at least for myself. But even while speaking this, I'm just feeling that uncertainty about who I am and who I am becoming. Even if I'm one of the best athletes and I'm working with one of the best guys in demand in market, in coaching and scaling businesses, I'm still seeing so something big in myself, in my essence, that I have to let in and receive. I already did let it in and receive, by the way. It's just my physical mind interpreting it that way. But simplification is ultimate sophistication. Just let's keep it simple. Let's enjoy it because journey is destination. Let's just be it, work on things that we need to work on, and we know that we need to work on. Act on highest excitement and expect and inspiration, which is in spirit, inspired. You're inspired when you're in spirit. If you're not inspired by something, you're not fully in spirit. You're just playing this material game that doesn't have end. You always seek more, or you always try to figure out more, lend more, get more. But of course, that's game, that's fun. I generally also I know I have I'll buy like Lamborghini Euros that's green color, and I'll have that mansion in woods, big mansion in woods, and bet mobile, and huge podcasts, like powerful podcasts. What I mean by that, and I'll be that influencing powerful creator. And I'm just okay. I will be no. I am it. No. I just behave, act, feel, think, look at the things from that identity right now, and I'll forget about when it will happen because it's already happened. I'll just be it. And if you anticipate on something how that should be and look like, you're limiting yourself. So I'll just detach from the outcome because maybe something is even greater for me out there. So I'll be open for everything, every blessing, every high. And I'll just love the process of becoming that person, of embodying actually that person that I desire, because that's the goal of fucking everything. It's just falling in love with the process and person you're becoming. If that's misaligned, anything external cannot be aligned. So my offer, my business itself, my content, if it's feeling hard, if it's feeling misaligned, if it's feeling like I have to figure out, learn more, adapt more, pay more, acquire more, how that sounds like, even if you just tell it loud, the things that you think, you can just be okay. Does this make sense at all? Does this make sense at all? Just voices, limiting ego mind, voices trying to keep me where I am because that's only thing mind is supposed to do, is to conceptualize and maintain what soul itself thinks it is. But we forgot who we are. So we can remember it from different points of view again. That's beautiful, but I remember it and now I'm enjoying in that remembrance, but I also don't wanna gatekeep, postpone and suppress and bypass who I am now. It's like I'll feel that shame for not actually expressing and being that, sharing to the world, selling actually will feel aligned and healthy for me and for others. And that's my goal here. I think I'll work on helping others aligned, align, align their business, or if they are aligned with their business, and I'll just I think I feel like be the guy that helps you structure your offer, your business, align you even more so you can focus and distribute things that you should or delegate tasks that you should. I'm passionate about certain things about that. Maybe just, helping people build informational business, which is like billion-dollar industry, and it will grow more and more. So I see inspire action towards that, and I just want to let you know while I'm documenting this process, I'll be following it, that passion, and I will not fall for false ego mind perceptions and beliefs and all habits, patterns, and stuff like that. It's just easy game. I just decide. It's all about the selection and decision, essentially, basically. So there's part of me that knows that I'll be consultant, I'll be coach, mentor, which is basically entrepreneur, and athlete, which is already active. I am already those things. It's just not full on the way. I'm just still receiving it. But that part of embodiment also needs some evidence to the mind so it can produce more chemicals that will enable your belief system internal shift to be even more effective and fast. But all of that is just simple of it's just it's just essence of now. It's just essence of I am, essentially, because you cannot receive it if you aren't it. That's a fact. So let's be it fully, detached from the consciousness and knowing that we had in the past that we are not it, that it's separate from us. Fully forget about it, and just let's see what happens in the next few months. I'll keep you updated. I'll be documenting. I'll sharing so much value. I'll sharing transformation. I'll sharing other people's transformations. I'm also working with other people about everything about their life, their alignment, their goals, their purpose, their content, their everything genuinely. So I'm still figuring out what's the best way I can approach my offer, and only way I can conceptualize and figure that out is by doing it and putting myself out there. I bow to each one of you, out of each one of you. See you.